Oxford is a unique city. It's a great place to live and work, but it's got a huge amount of transport challenges in terms of the geographical constraints and the historical nature of the city and the heritage site. So that means that as a local authority, we have constraints of what we can do on the network and how we can manage the congestion that's coming into Oxford. Another thing that's happening in Oxford very soon, in fact on the 24th of October, is the opening of the Westgate. And the Westgate is a shopping centre in the centre of Oxford. Now that will increase the retail floor space in Oxford by 2/3, so you can only imagine the impact that that's going to have on the transport network. So what's really important is that we direct people to the park and rides or direct people to using non-driving options into the centre.
One Transport is based on OneM2M, which is a global standard for the IoT. What One Transport is doing is actually taking real-time information from multiple sensors, databases, putting everything together in a consolidated and horizontal way for multiple partners to tap on that data and actually create multiple solutions.
We are doing a project looking at our park and rides, and we've been engaging with a third-party app developer to develop an application using the data in the platform, which has been fed in by us and then had predictive analytics applied to it, and then feeding that analytics data into their application to then give people predictions about what's happening on the network at any given time. So looking at parking predictions, journey time predictions for both bus and car, and looking at the park and ride sites versus the city centre and giving people an idea of actually what's the most convenient method of getting into the city centre likely to be.
The One Transport project with Zipabout, for me, sits within a programme of work that we're doing with Zipabout, and it's around providing a personalised journey planning app for the transport and network users of Oxfordshire. The benefits of a third-party app developer using the One Transport platform, in my view, are threefold. Firstly, it's the accessibility of data that's not publicly available. Secondly, it's the speed of access to that data. And thirdly, it's the availability to access unique data sets that are not available elsewhere.
For us, having that ecosystem in place has been really great as a kind of starting point, because you get to use the specialisms of different organisations. So you've got people who specialise in making the predictions, and therefore you're not having to spend extra time trying to work out how to do that, or as an app developer.
What TRAC do is we're a data analytics organisation using artificial intelligence and machine learning to actually make predictions. We're making predictions upon certain situations so that traffic managers, etc., can actually then mitigate those against those situations happening by adopting a different strategy. What One Transport has done for us through its OneM2M layer, it has enabled far more data to be made available than would otherwise be the case. This can be exampled firstly through the journey time predictions that we have been doing as part of the Oxfordshire use case, where TRAC have also introduced public transport data, which we haven't done before, to actually give a real benefit to passengers so that they can see real reductions in journey times, either by using public transport or by going by road.
In terms of increasing park and ride usage, Oxford was the first place in the world to introduce park and rides. They've been a huge success. Lots of countries and cities across the world use park and rides, and actually in Oxford we want to increase the number of park and rides across the city and outside the city. So this is why this case study is truly important. What's really unique about the Zipabout element is that it's about truly personalised journey planning. It's about providing personalised journey planning information direct to the user. Now, this is not just about live data feeds. This is not just about predictive impacts on the transport network. It's about a profile for each individual and that end user, and that's why working with Zipabout is so important.